to another edition of Live SEO Support, where we answer all of your SEO questions live. Yeah, if you've been around for a while, you know the drill. Go ahead and just drop your questions in the chat if you have any. We've got a backlog of questions we'll be answering today, just from comments and PMs and stuff. For whatever reason, people, I think it's because people just maybe don't have the scheduling to watch the show live, and so they send it to us in other places. But yeah, we've got some
Yeah, and we've
questions
been a
here
bit
too,
spotty.
for sure. But we'll hopefully hopefully that'll be
Yeah, I
fixed
think
now.
we'll be on par now. There's no real reason not to.
At least till you have to make your next move, right?
Yeah. But that'll be a few months away.
You making any progress on that? I haven't even really talked to you about that at all.
No, not really. Right now it's like purgatory period on it. I've got to
Purgatory,
wait to
nice.
regroup and do some things.
Very nice. All right, guys. Yeah, we'll go ahead and start getting to the questions. Yeah, we've got some stuff lining up, and yeah.
Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe if you like our content.
And I think, what do you think about this, Nick? Should we give priority to questions that people ask live? I feel like we should, because they're like
Yes,
actually here. All right, so yeah,
for sure.
let's go ahead and hop over to YouTube. Um,
And Cheap Flights is here. We've seen you before. Welcome back to the show.
all right. Google update anything new? I think it's about backlinks, anchor text. My website loses 5K keywords ranking. I think about changing the domain. Oh, you're thinking about changing the domain because you lost 5K keywords and rankings.
Sounds like a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. It'd probably help if I know you've sent us the domain before, but if you send it over, I guess we can take a look at it real quick. And I'm starting to anyway think that the last algo update and the way it's resonating did have to do with backlinking quite heavily. Um, it seems like, in typical fashion, Google's kind of favoring the more trusted, more high authority websites versus the small, more mom and pop shop style stuff.
Do you see anything with anchor text like he had mentioned?
I don't know, because a lot of the stuff that we've been auditing has that Web 2.0 anchor spam going on, which is quite the anomaly. I was even looking at one of my sites, and then a bunch of it's showing up. But I am heavily leaning towards thinking that it's just Ahrefs cataloging this
Mm-hmm.
again, maybe having not cataloged it for an extensive period of time. And so, that's kind of where I'm at with that. But again, it's all just hypothesis right now.
Gotcha.
But, anchor text, we typically believe in keeping things extremely natural or predominantly natural into the homepage with branded and naked anchors. So, that's kind of just been the way we've always done things. Yeah, anything, hypothetical, where you don't want to be when an algorithm shift comes is anywhere that doesn't look natural. So if you just keep things looking natural, you're going to insulate yourself against extreme volatility. Now, having said that, I monitor a lot of sites every month. There was kind of out of whack volatility over the last like 3 weeks at least. Based on things that I couldn't really put my finger on, but I think now things are starting to kind of come together and stay where they're going to be, and we can make better inferences on what's happened.
Um, okay, yeah, he says he can't really
Okay, cool.
tell us much more about it
Well,
right now since he's driving. But
so, yeah, I mean, but based on that, yeah, you can go in, you say that it's maybe your anchors look unnatural. Um,
he thinks it's about anchor text, yeah.
yeah. Now, having said that, as far as just changing your domain name outright, I'm guessing you're maybe thinking about 301ing this or just starting over with a fresh domain. It's probably not necessary. I don't know how many organic keywords your website currently has, for it to lose 5,000. But even if that was 25, 30%, I wouldn't say, you just start from scratch elsewhere. There hasn't been a site that I've ever ran into that, you couldn't revive, to some extent at least. And this even pulls into equation domains that have been penalized by Google in the past that, I've gotten back and then resonating in the SERPs again. So I don't feel any project is really a lost cause, and unless it's just been so spammed with junk that it would be hard to get a anchor text profile read on it at any given point in time, etc. But that would more so be for like the cleanliness of me working on the project versus whether Google, would give it some trust value or not. So yeah, I think you're probably kind of on the right track. Dive into those backlinks, dive into those anchors, and start dissecting from there. But when you do get to your computer, feel free to, send that over to us and we'll have a peek.
Yeah, so definitely look at Algoru real quick, see if your losses really line up with anything, but also know that it's pretty early at this point to like, especially if like your losses happened like right around here. It's pretty early at this point in time to really make any kind of like hard judgments about that. Algo updates can take a while to really settle, and things that took a hit can end up bouncing back, and um, things can just move around quite a bit, and it takes a while for people to really truly understand what's happening. And even after like months and months and months, people might not really still fully grasp it. Um, yeah, like Nick was saying, if you think it's an anchor problem, start diversifying. Start sending a bunch of natural stuff to your homepage, branded anchors, URL anchors, generic anchors, stuff like that. And also, like Nick was saying, yeah, I would say it's probably a bit too early at this point in time. Like they were saying, you lost 5K keywords or whatever, but how many keywords does the site have? Like, are you, did it just go straight down and you're at like zero now? Or, um, so basically like what percentage of your keywords did you lose? And even if it's a very high percentage of them, because it was just so recent, I would still want to probably give it a little bit more time and try to figure things out before go ahead and just throwing it in the trash and starting with a new domain. Because this stuff happens. If you look at a lot of big sites, or just sites in general, don't have to be big sites. You can see a lot of sites have kind of a turbulent history. You go into Ahrefs and you look at their traffic and their keywords graphs. It's not always just this pretty picture of a straight up incline. And we're even talking about for, real, like just normal, reputable businesses that are maybe not even doing anything manipulative at all with SEO. They can get thrown around by algo updates as well. And they, didn't do anything on purpose or against any kind of what the algorithm would deem bad or whatever. So yeah, definitely give it a little bit more time at this point. But yeah, if you can maybe give us your site so we can check it out. Of course, not on the camera, but when you get back, that would be cool. Maybe we can figure out a little bit more on this, see what we think. I think we've looked at your site before, though. I just can't remember the
Yeah, we
URL.
have. I can't remember the URL either.
All right. Let's see.
Drive safe, though. If you're driving home, you drive safe. Listen to us. You don't have to watch us. We'll give all the knowledge to you, via voice.
All right. Let's go ahead and I think these were some comments we had. All right. For the newly created landing service pages, would it be better to get some profile diversity links and then throw in some niche edits and guest posts after that? Or is it safe to add a couple of niche edits straight away? Okay, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever actually heard this question before.
Yeah, a lot of people don't ask about diversity links. I assume they're talking about our product. But the cool thing about those in comparison to something like pillar links is they can be split up to your inner pages. Like those types of links do work to inner pages. It can look natural. It's more so you want to stay away from social profiles, directory links, blog comments, because hypothetical, right? Always take it back to the reality of what these links are used for. So blog comment. Joe the plumber loves commenting on, plumber articles, goes down, wants to leave a blog comment. It says name, Joe the plumber, website. Is he going to put an inner page in there, or is he just going to put his website in there? What's most natural is it just goes to the homepage. And so you want to be cognizant of what's natural when you're using a specific type of link. And what's cool about these question answer type links and stuff like that is they can point to inner pages or whatever is relevant to the article itself. So you can do that. Hypothetical, though, you can use a niche edit at the very beginning of a campaign or later. But again, we always preach diversity here. So if you're diversifying using diversity links while you use niche edits, while you use guest posts, etc., you're going to build a way more diverse link profile that's going to withstand a whole lot more ability of looking manipulative.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a tangent, but very true, very true stuff. But yeah, so the essence of his question is basically when you add a new landing page on a site, does he need to pillow
Right.
that specific URL
All right.
before adding other stuff? So the answer is no. Um, y- you know,
However, it's not. I mean, it's no, you don't have to, but
we
better practice, probably.
is it though? When I think
Yeah,
of
because it's just showing more diverse press going to an inner article, right? So it's just building the profile up like a slightly more. Now, mind you, some of this stuff is overkill if you're in a niche that doesn't require anything like this, or if it's like a less competitive niche that doesn't require some sort of edge. But a lot of it's going to depend on your competition too.
So I'll just say that in general, I think about pillowing as on a domain wide kind of level. It doesn't have to all be to the home page. It could be to some like important kind of hub pages. Like for example, like a blog, is a big hub page, or like a category page that's built out well, or some kind of like pillar content or something maybe. Um, but yeah, just adding like a new landing page, I might not. What is a service landing page? So I guess he's talking about like a local. Well, it doesn't have to be a local company, but so if it was a new location landing page, I would pillow to it, and the pillows would be like citations mainly, right?
Yeah, but you have to be, yeah, yeah. You have to be careful
Um,
doing multiple location pages, because you're always trying to keep your name, address, and profile all the same across the board, right?
mhm.
So when you start creating local area pages and pillowing using citations to that, a lot of times things can get a bit muddy.
Yeah, just in general, like adding a new like service landing page.
You're probably fine if you
Yeah,
pillowed everything else, yeah.
yeah, I probably wouldn't worry about pillowing to it. And just in general, if I have a website and I'm adding a new important page that people are going to land on, a traffic generating page, I'm normally not pillowing to that page first, unless it's like I was just saying, a location landing page, um, like for a local company. Then I would do some like citations, stuff like that, basic local SEO stuff. But that's a little bit different. Yeah, wouldn't really worry so much about pillowing for individual pages. Kind of think of it more on a domain level. You can do it. It might be good, but it's generally not something that I really do. And you could pretty much go straight to guest posts and niche edits, as long as you have some good pillowing throughout your site in general. Um, but also, just to throw in one more little thing, be a little bit wary of how hard you're going on this thing. Kind of look at your the amount of referring domains, the amount of links that your site has overall. Make sure that you're not linking to these inner pages too heavily and just blasting them with a ton of like niche edits and guest posts right away, right?
Yeah.
You can inner pages. You definitely want to. I approach a lot more slowly than, for example, like the homepage. The homepage is constantly getting a stream of links, right? Whereas an inner page, if your site only has like 100 referring domains or 50 referring domains, you definitely don't want to, if it's got 50 referring domains, you don't want to go ahead and send like 5, 10 links to an inner page right away. I mean, you can, it's just not, it can happen and it can happen naturally. It's just something I think kind of looks a little bit strange, and it's not something that I do just out of um, trying to stay safe, you know.
Mm.
You have anything else to add on that, Nick?
No, I think we got it. I think maybe we overdid it.
Hey, better over than under, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Got some more questions coming on YouTube, it looks like. Hey, Brian or Brain K.
Inspector Brain.
How you doing, man? um, this other.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see a little bit more, I think,
Yeah,
to
sorry. You're gonna have to go ahead and send us your site if you want us to. Like, I'm not really able to piece it together with just these little things you're saying here.
looks like he's operating 2 sites already.
Why do you say that?
White Label X page is on a different domain,
Okay.
he says.
All right, let's go ahead and get more on from the comments and stuff, I guess. Here's a Nick question. Do you update
Neat.
content on PBN? If yes, how frequently? Thanks.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And I love that we're getting some PBN questions because I feel like we don't get them often enough. And I replied to a comment in a thread the other day by Sharia Jane. What is your favorite type of link to use? And even though it's not my most widely used link, PBNs are still my favorite link because once you really, build a solid PBN network, and you've got access to this at your fingertips, you can really use it in a whole lot of different ways. You can, as it ages and you do add content, you could use the inner pages to resonate like niche edits do. You could even add, guest post style links to inner pages. A lot of people conceptualize that the PBN is only used for homepage contextual backlinks. And yes, that's where the most power is going to come from. However, you can widely diversify the way that you use them. And then in turn, whenever you give that attention to the PBN, it resonates as an active website that's doing more than just putting new contextual homepage posts up that are rolling. Now, having said that, if you conceptualize the vast amount of websites that exist on the internet, I would say majority are, small websites that don't really change. They act as business cards. And so do you have to change the way that they look or add content to them frequently? No, not necessarily, but maybe a hypothetical could be that they lose their potency over time, right? So is it a good idea if you've got a private PBN of maybe 10 sites and you're not selling links on it or anything like that? I've got private PBNs, and then we've got, of course, PBNs that we rent links on or sell links on. And so they act very naturally. It's part of the reason our PBN is very secure in comparison to a lot of others is we are pushing content through them often. And we do have ways of upkeeping them that add to the longevity of the PBN itself. But if you're an individual building a PBN, maintaining a PBN, that's a little bit harder to do. But let's say you've got like 10 sites. If you want to come in once every 6 months or once every year and just add a handful of cheaper articles to it with no backlinks in there, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Just, a PBN costs money. It takes quite a bit of money to maintain, to build, etc. Why not put, an article on iWriter costs $5, $6. I don't use the lowest tier stuff if I was going to use something like iWriter, but I'd use, something that costs a little bit more money that isn't complete trash, and just put it on there. It's going to maintain or help maintain what you've built, what you've spent money on. So yeah, do you have to do it? No. But would it be considered best practice in my opinion? Yes.
It's, PBNs are just like any other website, and what's good for any website is to have new content added to it over time, right? Google, I think rightfully so. I think this is a good move in their the way their algorithm works. They favor websites that are being shown some love. They like websites that are active. They just like, a customer would like a store that is, being cleaned, being changed, having new inventory added
Right.
to it. You think about your website as, if it's just sitting there, no new content for years, it's basically just this dark basement, room with cobwebs growing over it everywhere. Yeah, Google likes to see and promote content on the internet that is actively being managed. It's actively being improved upon. They're trying to serve the users the best information possible, and PBN is a website just like any other website. But yeah, like Nick said, you're definitely trying to be like cost effective here and stuff as well, and you don't want to be spending too much time on your PBN sites. Nick, do you ever just like go ahead and like order a bunch, maybe not a bunch, but you could order like a few articles and just like schedule them to go out like through over the course of a year?
Yeah, you can
Like
do that.
like every like 3 months or something, there's like a
Hmm.
new,
Yeah.
cheap article being put up automatically.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really do that. I mean, we've got assistants now that manage all that stuff for us. So, we've got a level of automation, but uh, hypothetical, if I had a small PBN, that'd probably be a good idea. You come to it once every 6 months, once a year, schedule a handful of posts, and let them go. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just try the scheduling tool if you just don't want to spend too much time. You can just knock it out real quick, right? And then you don't got to think about it for another year or two or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
ask more PBN questions, everybody. I feel like we don't get enough of them. I feel like we downplay um, the value that they bring to the table once you really know how to use them. The problem, I think, with PBNs and why we don't talk about them much is that it's usually newer people that want to get into PBNs because they think it's the hammer that's going to make them a ton of money, but it just doesn't work that way. However, they're a very, very powerful tool that you can use if you are aware of what you're doing and you do have a good recipe for how to use them properly.
I also feel like kind of like more of a white hat mentality has kind of gained popularity over time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which I see the value in it. I understand why people kind of gravitate towards that stuff. It's a decision kind of which way you want to go with this type of thing. And obviously there's best practices of handling things, of doing things if you choose to go the more black hat route. Um, but yeah, I feel like it's
Also,
I feel like a lot of SEOs have kind of like lost their like their I don't want to say anything bad, but just I don't know. They've lost a little bit of something, and everyone's getting a little bit too safe, in
when
my
I got
opinion.
my start, PBNs were rampantly talked about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it was like the
exactly.
main point of topic. And yeah, it's calmed down since then. There's
I
different
guess the
tools, and
industry's
then
grown, right? It's
yeah, but also you've
I
got
don't
to
know.
consider the people, and sorry to plug ourselves, but we're one of the last remaining public, PBNs available, which is kind of funny, public-private blog network. But anyhow, you know, and there's reason for that, and it's because we have evolved with the landscape, right? What I was doing, 6, 7 years ago is completely different than what I'm doing now, with the PBNs. They look and feel a whole lot more like guest posts that you would get off something like Fiverr, maybe. Not the best content, but not garbage content. The site, it's active. It does have content constantly pushing through it, diversification on the types of links that go out, etc. And so, a PBN isn't how it used to be in the sense that, you just revive a site, put 1,000 words of content on it, no design elements, no real consideration to how the site's supposed to be. Unlike those early PBNs, now a PBN has to be set up really just as well as a normal functioning site in order to last. And you spend so much money on those domains that you can't stand to see them get de-indexed. So you spend the extra money up front.
Yeah. So yeah, adding content is good on
Yeah.
every website.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what's next.
Yeah, flights. Just PM us on Facebook, I guess would be the easiest way, maybe,
Yeah, you could send me, I mean,
or
being in
just
our
send it to
Facebook
our
group is a
email.
good thing. But yeah, you could send it to our to Sterling Salat's business page. You could message it there. Of course, don't post it on Sterling Salat's wall, but message it. Or yeah, message me or Nick PM. I don't think YouTube doesn't have any kind of thing like that, do they?
I don't know. They gotta have a messaging system, I would think.
I don't think they do.
Mm.
Um, all right, let's see. All right, so actually, this is kind of a big one. Let me see how much else we have left. Okay, that's fine. All right, so this is going to be a little bit of an audit, I think. But yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at stuff. It's not of the person's site, it's just a site we're kind of checking out. So it says, stumbled upon an amazing site in the Indian niche, which is not so old and built on a government expired domain, mpnrc.org. What's fantastic is they are ranking on any topic on page one and has 8 million visitors. My question to me specifically, not you, Nick, is have you ever come across this kind of backlink and expired domain profile which ranks instantly? So we haven't really looked at it yet, but I will say, yeah, people do it all the time. There's actually someone in a niche that we're very familiar with that they basically they took a site that's in a super generalized version of the niche. It's a very powerful domain with a very, very, very spammy backlink profile. And they are ranking like crazy right now. They have so much traffic, it's just insane. And they've been there for months now. I think you might know the one I'm talking about, Nick.
I'm not 100
Um,
right now. I was trying to think about it.
it starts with an I.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the site's killing it right now. It's just a kind of a matter of, is it going to be killing it for a long time, or and then how much money was spent on it, and how much money can they make in the time that site could potentially go down, right? Let's go ahead and check out the site.
Yeah, it's nice because we can actually run through Ahrefs on this.
Oh yeah, we can do it
Hmm.
actually on screen, huh?
Yeah, just
Well, that means you're not going to be able to see it though,
that's fine.
because of the way we do the screen share. Or I could do it on both screens, I guess.
That too.
Oh man, that's ghetto. That'll do it. All right.
Yeah, it's a nice old side alone.
All right, sorry, give me one second. I'll share the stream. You can see it good. Okay, so yeah, looking at it, it's got a DR 49, which actually is pretty low considering it's got almost 10K referring domains, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, look at this traffic, 7.5 million organic keywords, 800K. Looks like the referring domains have just skyrocketed this year. Let's see what's going on here. Organic traffic. Yeah. I mean, this is just, I guess I got to do it on your screen as well so you can see it,
It's all
huh?
right. I'm listening to what you're doing. It's fine.
Um, so yeah, I was just looking at the organic traffic. So basically,
Did he
yeah,
say
it's
this?
pretty,
He thought this was an age domain? Because it looks like a pretty new domain to me.
let's see the question. Stumbled upon an amazing Indian
Yeah,
site.
expired
Not so,
domain.
so it's not so old, built on government expired domain.
Hmm. Well, I don't
But if it was
understand why it doesn't have any
expired,
history. Or if it was
yeah,
expired, then it must have been given away or dropped really quickly.
yeah. So,
I
yeah.
guess we could throw it in archive.org and maybe see, but
So usually if it's an expired domain, right, it's got some, I'm checking out
history.
the organic search history. I mean, you would see
Hmm.
some more stuff
Something in there.
in
Yeah.
here, right? All this
Unless it was
activity.
from
Unless it's just
way
like
back.
really low. Oh, it is. Look, the line's just so low because it's only like 10,000 traffic, right? Now they've got
Okay,
almost
okay.
10 million, so it's just
Millions,
like a
right?
blip on the radar.
It's crazy.
You just can't even
Nice.
see it.
Well
Um,
done. Well done.
so yeah, I mean, before we had looked and you had seen, I'm going back to the backlink profile. Backlink profile, here we go. Um, so yeah, you can see like over time here, um, they only had like 10, so 15 referring domains, 20 referring domains, 50 referring domains. So less than 100 referring domains for years, right? And then, starting on May 1st, they just started going crazy adding domains, right?
Hmm.
Adding backlinks. Now they have almost 10,000. So yeah, it's an expired domain, but just looking at it really quickly, it seems like the real cause of their rankings is probably this 10,000 referring domains right here, maybe with some nice authority, natural authority that was built beforehand.
Well, it might have had authority just like on a small level to where you could, manipulate the backlink profile really quickly, but it's already got that trust flow
Yeah, yeah,
and never
exactly.
really like, was dropped out of the SERPs or something,
Hmm.
and boom, it's like if it was an old government website, then it had extreme trust flow going to it, and whoever's manipulating the backlink data now just yeah, they're onto something really good.
Yeah, so basically, the site's already there. The site's, if it's a government website, it probably has some pretty authoritative backlinks, right? Some real trustworthy backlinks and stuff. It's already kind of established itself. Google knows what's up with it, and then bam, they take over and they just start hammering it with more links and adding probably a ton of content, right? Let's see what the size of the site is. So, actually, I'm just going to pull it up over here.
1,600 pages.
So yeah, I just did a site colon and then the website's URL just to see how many pages are rankings. It got about 1,600 URLs, which is a pretty, pretty good size site, pretty large site. Um, what do you want to look at? Do you want to look at more stuff, Nick, or
No, I mean that's well, anchors maybe, backlinks, see what kind of
yeah?
stuff they're doing, how aggressive they're being, and then we can go ahead and take a guess as to whether, it's going to last or not.
So here's anchor to, oops, I don't like this one. Going back to the old anchors. And sorry, I'm doing this on two screens at the same time so that because I can only share one screen with Nick as we're doing the stream. So, um,
Bitcoin to 50,000.
Yeah, so we see some URL stuff, some miscellaneous anchors. We got scholarship stuff right here. We don't like seeing scholarship stuff, but um, the
If
thing
it's the right
is,
site, you can use it.
is like look at this, Nick. Even like the at the very top of the list. So 79 referring domains have this one anchor. So basically, it's that's still less than 1% of its referring domains
Hmm.
with this natural anchor text. Um, So, basically all these 10,000 links that they're adding, they're all using what looks like to be completely different anchors.
Hmm. Yeah, doing pretty good at anchor diversity, even though I'm willing to bet check the details on those and then the snippets.
Some
Um,
on my other screen, I was kind of like looking through just pages of them, seeing like what
yeah.
exactly.
What kind of links are they?
Um, Honestly, a lot of it kind of just looks like potential Web 2.0 spam. They're like these really long anchor texts that are all like real similar.
Yeah, but what, so if you click on
Yeah,
details
yeah.
and then,
I was just kind of, let me go find one real quick. They're blog spots. Yeah. Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and check out the backlinks. I'll put it on your screen as well so you can see it. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Um, so yeah, right at the top here, this is some of the better links that Ahrefs is showing us right here at the top. You see, looks to be some like you know, some nice like kind of authoritative like Indian links, edu link, um, some government links.
this site's currently being, we haven't even looked at the site itself, but I think it's currently being used for, medical niche information, correct?
Yeah, I didn't even really look at it yet.
So if so, then it's in the right niche for, recruitment.
So news, recruitment, and counseling, home news, education news, entertainment. It's like they're doing a bunch
Hmm.
of different stuff on the
Yeah,
screen.
okay. All right. So, I mean, still like a generalized concept of recruitment and counseling. Um, the link profile, I think, will stand for the niche that this is currently in.
I guess that's a bunch of kind of yeah, Indian related
Job stuff, right?
and news, jobs, health, tech, all kind of like Indian related news.
Wonder how it's monetized. PUBG for PC download. So
I
yeah,
mean,
pretty
yeah, they could
random.
just be getting traffic and hitting it with ads, right? I don't really see
That's what I would
any.
think, but I don't see any of those. A lot of times, these massive Indian sites with tons of traffic, yeah, are running AdSense on them, and that's predominantly what I've seen a lot of
I
them
also have
do.
ad blocker though.
Oh, well, yeah, that'll inhibit.
Does the ad blocker work when you do incognito?
I don't know, actually.
Here we go. There's the ads. Yeah, so definitely running ads on it. So I guess just a ton of traffic with ads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wish I knew what it was making. That'd be kind of cool to know.
Going back and I'm kind of looking at, I guess the best way to do this would be for you just to kind of look at it yourself as well, Nick. It's kind of hard to do it on two screens at once.
Yeah, that's fine, dude. Just do it over there and just kind of relay it. But I think overall, like, I mean, it makes sense. The thing is, well, let me see one thing, I guess, real quick.
Yeah, I'm just kind of going through. There's a bunch of like Indian stuff mixed in here. Blog spots, of course. I wonder how much is like 301.
Yeah, so if you check the last checked backlinks, of course, we're getting a ton of Blogspot. I mean,
Hmm.
as far as I can go, it's Blogspot. But again, we talked about this. It could just be that these have always existed.
Yeah, they're getting a
Well,
ton.
no, they haven't, because here's a date, January 30th, 2021, crawled August 21.
On some
So
days, they're
no,
getting more than
we've got some new
500
stuff.
Blogspot links.
Yep, but it's almost all Blogspot Web 2.0. There's some better links coming in too, but predominantly Blogspot, right?
Hmm.
With these long anchors,
Hmm.
etc. And so, based on this, if I'm watching this and I have to assume, right, because we don't know the owner of this website, if they're the ones doing this hypothetically, or they're not running a backlinking campaign and this is just happening through some other way, which we've seen a lot, then I would say it's probably not sustainable. I think it's probably a really cool, and I'm glad whoever shared it in our group, because it shows the potential weight of a expired government style website to have, that you can kind of use to your advantage when creating something new. And it'll be exciting to watch this site and see how long it can keep this up. If we look at it from overview standpoint, it had its heyday July, where it was up to almost 20 million organic traffic according to Ahrefs, then dropped back down to it's 7.5 now.
Hmm.
Having said that, if you look at organic keywords, they're continually on the rise.
Hmm.
So maybe as this, engages and spreads a bit more, it'll get back to some traffic terms that could potentially
Yeah,
add up
I,
to,
I would say it still
20, 30
looks. I would say it still
million.
looks real healthy.
Yeah.
Real healthy.
And it's been doing it, but granted, it's very new, right? All of this jump started in
Yeah,
May,
yeah,
end of May.
definitely.
So,
What do you
we're
think
spiking, but
about kind of not so natural link building practices on being used on foreign sites? I don't really have much experience with foreign stuff,
so,
but my understanding of it is you
yeah.
can actually get away with quite a bit more.
Yeah, so we don't have much experience in that, but from a lot of the people I know that do foreign SEO, yeah, they are having success being quite a bit spammier um, in different locations,
Hmm.
and maybe that's just due to Google kind of lagging behind as far as language barrier, like development, et cetera, within their
Yeah.
systems. But it seems to work overseas quite a bit better than it does, English
Yeah, I think
language.
it's just hard. Basically, the algorithm is kind of fine-tuned for English, right?
Mhm.
Where it's harder for it to really
Or
dissect. It doesn't.
major languages wherever it, has like a, a serious outpost, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, so to me, just looking through the backlinks, just looks like basically it looks like a lot of like Blogspot spam mixed in with probably some like super cheap, like kind of like guest post type spam.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, and another thing, yeah, agreed. Another thing to consider is, in different geographic locations, there's different competition as well. Um, so you're in having less competition, you can manipulate a little bit better because the fine tuning isn't there via the other websites either. Um, and in a metro, and I say metro, in a location like India, we're dealing with like 1 billion people in certain geographic regions.
Hmm. I'm just looking at one more thing real quick. I'm back in looking at the backlinks and kind of checking out the authority. And it looks like, so they've got literally, if you do one link per domain, they've got 175 pages of backlinks to look at, right?
Hmm.
And by the bottom of page two, I've sorted by DR, and by the bottom of page two, we're already down to DR 34.
Hmm.
So basically,
Yeah.
you've
So
got
there's a huge shift.
200 pages of backlinks below DR 34. The extreme overwhelming majority of these backlinks are low authority backlinks, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's working.
it goes to show a lot of the yeah, people freak out about all different types of things. Well, this is a prime example of something that you can do. Now, again, longevity wise, I don't know, but it's all about ROI, really. So if they did this, they bought the expired domain, let's say even like for $500, and then just did a bunch of cheap kind of spammy tactics backlinking wise, and then spent money on content, this thing could really be highly profitable even if it dies within 6 months.
And again, just to kind of back on the DR thing, I'm on page 7 now, which is, we're not even to page 10 out of 175 pages, and we're down to DR 8. It's like
Hmm.
the absolute overwhelming majority of these links are very, 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 very low authority.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's just we were talking about earlier how the a lot of SEO, I feel like kind of like a lot of like popular opinion has kind of like shifted towards this little bit more of like not totally white hat, but like just kind of a more of a white hat feel to it. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're looking at a 10, 20 million traffic site just now that is got a very, very, very unnatural backlink profile. And how much money do you think they're actually making, running AdSense
No
on
clue.
a site with that much traffic?
No clue. No idea.
Yeah,
Couldn't tell you.
ads isn't something I really do. Um, I mean, I do it, but it's just not really my focus. Um, anyway, yeah, hopefully our kind of insight there uh, is useful to you. But yeah, it's very common for a site when you're thinking about building a powerful site, right? Doesn't have to be this one specifically, but you got a domain with a ton of backlinks, a ton of power and authority behind it. What starts to happen is when you just add new content to the site, it's going to rank almost immediately, even for pretty high competition stuff. Just depending on the power of the site itself. So when we talk about building the site's authority, this is what we're talking about. This is the way we like to build links. Not like that. This is that was a very low quality link building they've done there, and we don't really condone that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It'd be interesting to be able to purchase the same exact domain, right? Same backlink profile, and see how different the timeline and the graph lines would be if we did things our way versus them doing things their way.
Hmm.
Because maybe they'd get a faster initial spike, but maybe come crashing down,
Hmm.
but maybe not. And yeah, it's all. Yeah, it'd be interesting to be able to do. Unfortunately, once you buy an age domain, the variables are pretty much set within that domain, and it wouldn't be easy to try and replicate anything like that.
Hmm. But yeah, like I was saying, build your website authority, and it's very normal for new content to rank very quickly for stuff. I think we might have got a message from our YouTube viewer, or maybe not.
Yaniv?
No. Um, lights.
Oh,
Nope, doesn't look like it. Did you get any PM, Nick?
negative.
I don't think I have one either. Anyway, from his messages, flights, it looked like you had shown your site, but not seeing it anywhere. All right, let's go ahead and see what's next. I think this is actually going to be our last one. I think we
Yeah, Daddy's
actually,
got a lot of boring work to do today. A lot of boring work. I hate accounting. I hate it so much. I don't think there's anything I hate more in business than accounting. There, I said it.
Um, I can think of a couple
Don't
things a little
forget
more
to
annoying.
like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy our content.
All right. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe if you hate accounting as much as Nick.
That's what I'm
Damn,
talking
we
about.
forgot
We
to
could start a subgroup.
we forgot to do a bunch of like, comment, and subscribes today. Yeah, like, comment, and
Yeah, we're not
subscribe.
too good at promote. You know, let's just be honest here. Let's go on a little tangent, Christopher, because we talk about it sometimes, you know. The truth is, you know, we don't really like well, I know I don't. I don't really like you know, guru status or whatever you want to call it. I like giving out information. I like helping people. I think it's fun. But at the same time, you know, when it comes to like popularity and having to share on Facebook nonstop and be the point of attention, I don't think either of us are too good at it, quite honestly.
No.
So, you know, I guess basically what we're asking for is if we're willing to just help, then some just some praise from somewhere would be nice. Some pity praise. These guys don't know how to promote themselves, but they give away some great info. You know, that would be nice.
But we actually get a good amount of
We do, yeah.
uh, emails and basically new business and stuff from our videos. Basically, people saying
Yeah.
they like how we're so obviously like less promotional than I guess the overwhelming majority of everything else, right? They're always constantly chucking something. So maybe I mean, obviously that would be like the business decision would just to be super promotional all the time. Obviously it
Ugh.
works. Um, but yeah, I also kind of just like the idea of not so much guru status, but just trying to help out with when we can and kind of just
We've 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 always liked the Robin Hood perspective
yeah.
to things, I feel like, which is, you know, here's the information that we can give you. Use it how you want, and in turn, you know, you come back and support us in some way, shape, or form. Which, yeah, I mean, it's been doing fine, but yeah, we're not very super promotionally. Kind of gets me cringing, kind of thinking about that.
Just wait.
Hey, I'm Nick, and I can make you a millionaire tomorrow through
I'm gonna
SEO.
make an ad out
You
of
know, and they're everywhere. Like, shit. You know, I'm big into crypto too, and it's like just what a bunch of garbage. But this is how they make their living, you know. And they've got a ton of followers and a lot of people looking for hope, and I think that's what it is, though. You know, we don't want to take advantage of hope. That's it's wrong. It's wrong. But you can give people an education and tools by which to help themselves, and I respect
we
that.
gotta start taking pictures of our like our houses and our cars and stuff and posting it in the
Yeah.
group.
Oh
That
shoot.
stuff makes me
I'm up
physically
to a
cringe.
I'm
It
up
really
to a
does.
I'm up to a pretty cool little car collection that I've got, you know. You know, but it yes. Yeah, the
They-
thought of like constantly like putting pictures up of like a garage or something like that, yeah, it's cringy. Mm.
but yeah, man, people are drawn to the whole status thing. Hey Noman, what's up,
Yeah.
man? Like
What up,
haven't
Noman? It's
seen you in
been
a
a
while.
while,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, we're good. Hey, maybe we haven't seen you because we haven't been too spot on with keeping our time frames and stuff, but we're going to be doing it now. We're going to be here every Wednesday, noon Central U.S.
Calling
time.
it right now, Nick is gonna cancel next week. It's a prediction. But y'all should still try plan for being here.
Calling it right now, Chris is a hole.
A what?
I was just pretending like it was getting lost in in bad internet connection. Uh, infer as you will. I don't think we're allowed to say bad words on YouTube if we want to monetize at some point. But guys, we have to get to 1,000 subscribers before we can monetize.
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't been
and we're
paying
only
attention to
halfway
that.
there because nobody wants to share our name, you
We're
know?
actually doing really well though,
Yeah, no.
especially in the time where we basically stopped doing regular live streams and really stopped posting videos because everything was too irregular and the videos weren't as professional and stuff with the lack of studio. I think we doubled our subscribers in that time,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
crazy.
It's going well. You know, something that y'all should note is that if you come to our group, if you go to our YouTube videos, etc., you can tell just by going there, we're not manipulating those numbers, right? I mean, it's not something we do. It's counterproductive to what we're trying to build, etc. In comparison to, I think there's a lot of people out there, and all of a sudden, they've been up in live for 3, 4 weeks and they've got insane numbers in these groups, etc. Um, just something to be wary of.
Yeah. Yeah, our whole angle, I guess, is trying to be less promotional and hoping that people realize we're actually like being real with them. And
Hmm.
because of that, we could, yeah, kind of carve out our own little corner in the niche or whatever. But whatever. We're horrible gurus. Like, comment, and subscribe if we are horrible.
Horrible gurus.
I'm definitely gonna clip that and put it on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of fun.
All right, so
There's probably time we've got a new intro video on YouTube.
last question. And yeah, Noman, sorry. I can tell you are obviously very, very sad that we weren't here. Um,
See, it feels good to know that some people were distraught by our absence. I know that's sort of narcissistic, but it does feel good.
so yeah, like, comment, and subscribe if you care about boosting Nick's feelings. He's an emotional guy. He might not look like it, but
Very.
very emotional.
That's true.
All right, last question of the day. Hi, when I look at a site like SEMrush, and this was already answered in our group, but I just wanted to answer it again.
Yeah, by somebody who deserves some note because that was a very good answer, and I like seeing that we've got a lot of active people in the group that are willing to share information, same as
Let's
us.
go.
It's been hard getting to questions before somebody else in the group does, and I really admire and like that.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up then. We can put them in the spotlight a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh, Here we go. You're talking about Matt's answer?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I read it and I was like, oh, I really don't have anything to add to this other than I use Ahrefs, I guess, predominantly. Majestic behind that, even though I think SEM Rush actually probably crawls a bit better.
All right. So, question was, hi, when I look at a site like SEMrush, it gives me a lot of backlinks that don't show on mods. My question is, which one is accurate, and how can I get them to show up for mods? Because there are a lot that don't. Um, Matt says, neither is accurate, but SEMrush generally has a larger link database. There are trillions of links, blah, blah, blah. No one shows them all. Um, and he's saying
Yeah,
basically,
just read the whole
okay,
thing. It's good. It's
the
good.
most accurate way of getting as many links as you can find is extract your data from all of the link crawling tools and merge them into one database, remove the duplicates. But then, yeah, he says something very real here, although that's completely overkill and wouldn't really benefit you. Finally, you
Yeah,
can't
I like that.
you
Yeah.
can't get them to show up in Moz. Why do you want them in Moz, by the way? So I'm guessing she just basically wants everything to show up in one place, right?
Yeah, she answered it. I was told that they were the most accurate data. Seems not so. My domain authority is also different on both of them, 4 on one, 10 on the other, etc. But yeah, it seems like she probably got used to using something and is now kind of diversifying the tools she's playing with and realizing that yeah, there's a variance in everything that's cataloged, and you've got to take into account all of these companies are
Go
essentially, crawling websites, and they all have a different ability to do so, and then they all have different metrics that they, provide you with based on these link profiles that they're able to catalog. So, yeah, they're all going to have a variance, and typically the one with the most money backing them is going to be the one that can crawl the furthest, and so that's why Google is so good at this. But we predominantly use Ahrefs, which is also an expensive tool, but it does give us a pretty good idea as to what the link profile is looking
I
like.
just want to read the rest. So Matt answers another one of our comments. Says, "Okay,
Oh, I
yeah,
hadn't even seen
honestly, I wouldn't
this.
worry about the data being accurate. What matters is Google might value the links have more over time. My best advice would be completely forget about DA and any link score. Matt, you're the man. Someone
Nice.
gets it. It doesn't really mean anything. It's a bit of an archaic method of trying to understand how Google might value pages and websites. Google doesn't use it and it has no bearing on website performance." And then he goes and self promotes himself, which we actually should probably go ahead and remove that. We love your
Uh,
comments, Matt, but
we'll allow it this time, but yeah, it's definitely not allowed.
yeah, we don't want people
Yeah,
we don't want people telling you to PM them or whatever. It just kind of detracts from um, even if you are just trying to help, just realize this is what a lot of people do to funnel business to themselves, right? We get it.
yeah.
We've been there. Um,
We're
that's
just trying to
we
keep
keep it out
this
of the
group as
group. Yeah.
clean as possible because otherwise it'll turn people away.
But yeah, I mean, his
But yeah,
answer
that's
was really good
fine.
though. His answer was really good though.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of got the.
And he took, had the self-promotion not been in there, I might have considered him for Employee of the Month next month,
Yeah, we need to
which
start
we
doing
will be
that.
announcing.
Yeah, we're gonna
We've got
start.
a
We're wanted to start giving away
em-
prizes to the most helpful
yeah,
group members. But yeah,
just
what
every
if
month. Yeah.
we have to take something away from them, or if they self promote themselves, though? Jeez, they're gonna have to give us something.
Everybody's trying to make a buck. We get it.
We should start charging people to self promote and just really monetize the group, right?
It's a way for us to become a sleazy garbage group that stands for nothing.
But anyway, to kind of wrap the
Okay,
question
sure.
up, yeah, it sounds like she just wants it all in one place, right? But first of all, you don't need to see all of the backlinks. For example, I think Ahrefs actually has the largest amount of data. Ahrefs just and some people with a lot more time on their hands than we did actually looked very deeply into this. And basically, so Ahrefs have a lot more like data on their hands. They just pick and choose what links they think are the most important and then show those only. So Ahrefs isn't actually showing you all the links that they know exist for the site. They're showing you what they think are the most important links for the site. So you can really only look at, these like scores and the amount of links and stuff in the context of that one platform, if that makes sense, right? So you
Hmm.
can't like look at, so Ahrefs says site A has 500 backlinks, and then you go to SEMrush and they say, oh, my competitor has 1,000 backlinks. Well, you're looking on like two different platforms and they're showing different amounts of links and stuff. So you kind of need to stick in one platform, I think would be a good way to go. We, of course, like Ahrefs. Um, but yeah, I would also say you don't really need to see all your links, right? I don't really think there's much of a benefit there of seeing all of your links.
No, we've got
Um,
videos on how we go about quickly auditing sites using Ahrefs. You can kind of get a good picture of a site once you really get into the habit of things, within 10 minutes of exploring it in Ahrefs. And the deeper you go, the more you're going to understand about it. But, I feel like 5 to 10 minutes in Ahrefs, and I'm usually, unless there's something wonky going on that I'm trying to learn about, I
mhm.
can get in and out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah,
But yeah, as far as what Matt's his name, right? Was
yeah.
um, was saying you could hypothetically put everything into an Excel file, but I don't really know what you would even do with
It's
that
just not
data.
necessary. Yeah. I feel like this
No.
is something like when I first started doing SEO, I was very like I was checking like my backlinks like all the time, checking my
Yeah.
backlinks. Like I just gotta look at them and say, are they indexed? Are they showing in Ahrefs? Why isn't Ahrefs showing them?
Yeah.
And I wasn't really looking at what's important, which is what's my traffic and analytics? How much money is the site making? What are my keyword rankings? I mean, you don't need to check that every day or whatever, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, I was kind of like overly obsessed with this new backlink tool, Ahrefs or whatever, and really and looking at the backlinks in there, and I really wanted them to be in there for some reason. So maybe I can relate to the asker a little bit on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not. I wouldn't worry about that kind of stuff too much. Just uh, anything else to add on that, Nick?
No, pretty clean cut.
Cool. All right, guys. Do one more check real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and touch on that real
So
quick for
this is
Noman.
just, well, I'll kind of do this as like an addition. Um, so this is from a comment on Facebook. It says, not really about backlinks, but about traffic. A client's website shows 2K traffic per month, and I guess it's not really related. 2K traffic per month in SEM Rush, but about 8 to 9K according to Google Analytics. And yeah, Noman, like we were just saying, these tools are wildly inaccurate. Because they show something or because they don't show something, it doesn't matter. Like you have to take everything that they're saying within the context of that tool. And oftentimes it doesn't really have a very close correlation with reality. The tools are just it's
Well, or
basically a
it's got like a
starting point.
broad spectrum correlation, right? It's
Yeah.
like this one. It's like it says it's got 2,000 per month, and typically you're gonna find that especially in Ahrefs, since that's what we're used to using, you've got 2 to 3x the monthly traffic showing up in Google Analytics versus what you see in Ahrefs, and that's just because
It even goes the
Ahrefs
other
is a little
way.
bit limited.
It can go the other way as well. The site might be saying 20K traffic Ahrefs, and it can only be getting, like 2K traffic analytics. It can really
I'll
go.
be honest, I've never seen that happen.
I know. I'm thinking about one site in particular. I can
Okay,
talk to you about it later if you want.
nice.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen it go both ways. It just, um, you know, it can happen with certain keywords that get really high search volumes, and you end up on page one, and basically Ahrefs is telling you you're getting a lot more traffic for it than you really are.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
That would make sense.
yeah, or maybe they're just like click-through rate is horrible or something. I don't know. But yeah, these tools are imperfect. You can't really take everything they say like to heart. You have to realize what they are, which is very imperfect, and just a starting point to look into things a little bit more deeply, right?
It's why as you advance as an SEO, you acquire more tools. You start using more things to help gain, a picture of what's going on. And the more you use, the more you're going to be able to paint, a broader stroked picture
And Noman says,
on
although I'd
what
give more preference to what Google Analytics says than other third-party tools like Ahrefs.
for sure.
Exactly, because Analytics is like plugged in directly into the site, right? Analytics is telling you the traffic. And Analytics
Yeah,
is giving you some
analytics
like
isn't
hard
guessing.
data. There's just a lot of things that Analytics doesn't do, right? Like Ahrefs is really telling you all these like backlinks that you have from all these different websites and anchor text and all that stuff. So, they're very different tools. But yeah, the data that you get from analytics is much, much, much better, right? It's just you're plugged in direct to the source rather than what's essentially a link crawler um, that's not hooked into your website anyway. All right, guys. Yeah, we went a little bit over time. I know, Nick, we had talked about trying to keep this one on time, but we went over per usual. Go ahead and cut it off there. Like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate us going over time as usual.
Do you
And
like my like, comment, subscribe thing? It's good,
okay,
right?
yeah, I saw you doing that.
Pointing at
I
buttons.
didn't really know what you were doing.
I don't know really where they'll show up, but I'm pointing at buttons.
Like,
Well,
I don't
like,
know.
comment, subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Get in the group, tell me about it, give me some feedback. We'll come back and talk about it later.
Like, comment, and subscribe if Nick's attempts to get more traffic are lowly and embarrassing.
Well, you got to do something,
Just
right?
like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. All right,
All right, we'll
guys.
see you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks for